68 Network and also Sic'Em 365 podcast. And we're joined by Davion Mitchell, Baylor's outstanding point guard, two-way guard, one of the best in the nation, obviously. And Davion, thank you for being on the podcast with us, number one. But I wanted to just kick it off by, this is a big week. You know, obviously Baylor's got Kansas State Wednesday, and I know you're locked into that. I know you guys are a one game at a time type of mentality. But obviously Auburn, I mean, that's a big game for you because you transferred from Auburn. You know, what's it going to be like to go against them on Saturday? Is that a game that you've been anticipating, you know, before the season started?
I wouldn't say I'll be anticipating it, but I mean, I'm really excited to play them. I mean, especially another team from a different conference. It's going to be a new look for us. We're not going to see them every day, or like a new scout. It's kind of playing like in the NCAA tournament where you first see a team one time and you get to play them.
Right.
So I'm just excited to play. I'm just, really excited to play, honestly.
Awesome. And do you know any guys on the team still? I mean, most of those guys are probably gone that you played with. But are there still a couple holdovers on the team?
Personally, I don't really know anyone. I mean, I know Sharif Cooper. I mean, but I ain't really talked to him before like that. I mean, I probably have like on an AAU trip or something, but I just don't remember. But no one else on the squad.
Gotcha.
Davion, take us back to your high school days and your recruitment, and tell us about kind of some of the schools that were after you and how you ended up there.
There's a lot of SEC schools definitely into play. Florida, Georgia, Auburn. I had I had Louisville. I had a lot of schools. I mean, when I went to Georgia, I liked to visit. I was thinking about either going to Georgia or Auburn because, I mean, both businesses are really excellent. They treat their players real well. I mean, I was kind of connected with a lot of people on the Auburn team, so that's kind of what made me go to Auburn. I was really close with Chuma Okiki. He was my AAU teammate, and we still talk to this day. I just talked to him the other day, and he's doing real well. And then Austin Wiley, he was another person that was in the recruiting class with us too. I mean, he went there a year early, but he was definitely in our recruiting class, and I was just real close with him, so that's what kind of pulled me in Auburn instead of Georgia.
After your freshman year there, you know, when you contributed off the bench and played a key role for them, when you looked at the situation there and you looked at the situation at Baylor and maybe some other schools, why did you decide to make the jump?
Because I knew that they had two really good guards, Bryce Brown and Jared Harper. And then I knew they were coming back the next year, and I just didn't want to play that same role. I mean, I just feel like I could have got more better just me sitting out and, like, just working on my game, working on myself. And I think that's what really got me better, like, today, because that redshirt season, when I sat out here at Baylor, they got a lot of people like one of my dudes I'm working out with now, Rem Back and Missing, Pagan and Matt Gray.
Yeah.
They work me out like every day in my red shirt year. I mean, every day and night, anytime I wanted to go, they were there. So I think they played a big part of me getting better at Baylor.
Right. Last Auburn question. You know, obviously, when you were redshirting, you know, and sometimes those years are hard on guys. You want to get on the court so bad, and then that was the year Auburn made the Final Four. What were your emotions, just kind of watching them there? And
I was definitely excited for them. I mean, because I kind of knew that they had the talent, they had everything, they had all the pieces. I mean, I was waiting for them to turn it on, and they turned it on perfect at the right time during that March. They made that long stretch. But I was just really excited for them. I mean, honestly, I kind of knew it was gonna happen. I wasn't.
Yeah. So no bitterness or anything. Just a better situation for you.
Definitely.
Now.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Hey, Davion, I want to ask you. You know, I know Jason and I took this personal, but before the season, you were snubbed on a lot of the all Big 12 teams and not getting much All-American mention. And we were like, you know, just baffled by it. We're like, this is ridiculous. I mean, he's a returning all-conference guy, and it's almost like you were ignored. And, you know, I just want to know, did you take it personal? Was that something that motivated you and really, you know, helped you just prepare for the season and, you know, just to prove people wrong?
Definitely motivated me. I mean, I didn't really take it so hard. Honestly, I didn't really care. I wouldn't say because, like, honestly, I just wanted to go to the Final Four and win the Big 12. That was my whole thing. I just want to win games. I just want to, like, you know what I'm saying, just get to play, especially during the time. I just wanted to get to play during the season. I mean, but my whole thing was just to win. I mean, I didn't really care about the all-conference teams or anything like that. I mean, this is people's opinions. I mean, so I couldn't really get mad at people's opinions. So, yeah.
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 And in that same vein, I think that as the season's gone along, I feel like, you and Jared Butler, rightfully so, and even our bench has gotten a lot of attention. But perhaps Maceo and Mark Vital and Flo Thamba, guys like that, just aren't getting as much attention for their contributions. Talk about those three guys and how you're just so cohesive together on defense. And I was rewatching the Oklahoma State game, and I just noticed Mark and Maceo just seem to always be in the right spot and make the right basketball play over and over again. Just talk about the importance of those guys on the team.
They're definitely important. I mean, everyone's important on this team. I mean, especially our people on the bench. They give us great energy. But yeah, Maceo, man, he's came a big way of playing defense. He was really like all offense guy, but now he locks up on defense. We trust him. Mark Vital, Mark Vital locks up. I mean, that's his thing. He's gonna play hard. And Flo plays hard, just like Mark. I mean, a lot of those guys don't get recognition because it's like they don't really. Well, Mark and Flo don't really score as much, but they play a huge part in our success. Especially Maceo, man. Maceo is using his length. Finally, he's getting a lot of steals, block shots. He's not giving up on D. So I just feel like everyone's connected on our team, and those three guys definitely play a huge part of us being connected.
Yeah. One thing that people are mentioning about you a lot this year, Davion, is just how much you've improved with your your outside shooting, your 3-point shooting. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I know you're shooting well over 40% from beyond the arc. Tell me about the off season and the steps you took to really improve in that area. Not that it was that bad, but I know you wanted to focus on that.
Definitely during the offseason, I took a time where just working on my shot, working on my form, working on my feet, watched a lot of film. I mean, a lot of those things played a big part in my shooting success now. But just me working on it every day. I still work on it. I just about to work out right after this meeting. So, like, just working on my shot every day and just staying confident in myself, I think that's going to play a big part.
What I love too is recently, about, I don't know, maybe it's 2 or 3 weeks ago, you had a bit of a cold stretch where you had about 3 games when you were maybe 1 of 10, and now, I mean, you didn't lose confidence at all. I don't feel like, because you kept taking the shots and you're right back to it. Is that kind of the key, just to keep your head up?
Definitely give credit to all of my coaches and teammates. They stayed confident in me. They told me to stay confident. And then I'm just like, man, if they had confidence in me, I know I can have confidence in myself. So just give all the credit to them for being on me, just believing in me, telling me to keep shooting. So yeah, just give all the credit to them, man.
You've got one of my favorite nicknames in all of college basketball. It's Off Night. And for the viewers that don't know, that means whoever Davion is guarding is hopefully going to have an off night. More times than not, that happens. How did that? Who gave you that nickname? Do you remember how it developed?
Yeah, it was the guy that I work out with today, Rem Backamis and Peyton. They gave me that nickname, man, because they were just seeing all the people I was playing against and guarding. Most of the time, they wasn't really having their normal night. So they just thought this called me Off Night, and I was like, yeah, I like it. So I stuck with it.
Right. I know you mix up defenses sometimes and all, but I mean, do you enter games thinking, okay, we're playing Texas Tech tonight, I've got to shut down McClung, or we're playing Texas and I got to shut down Coleman, or whoever it may be? Do you kind of enter games thinking along those like personal matchup lines?
Not really. I just try to make it simple. I just try to make it hard for them. I mean, it's kind of hard to just lock somebody down, especially who's been playing basketball for like a long time. So I just try to make those shots hard for them. I mean, I do everything I can to just try to make it hard for the opposing team, no matter who it is, just not the star player. I mean, somebody has to score the ball. So I really don't get mad if the person I'm guarding score the ball or they have a good night. I mean, because it's just basketball. I mean, usually people hit shots. I mean, but I just try to make it hard for them, something they don't see every day.
Right.
Davion, let me ask you about being a point guard. I remember talking to Tweety Carter, and he mentioned how important it is to not go very many possessions where everybody on the floor is not getting a touch. Like he talked about, it was important for Quincy Acey, even though he was kind of playing the Mark Vital type role, that he even just get a touch every 2 or 3 possessions, just to make sure they're engaged in the offense, and it also energizes their defense. Does that go through your mindset at all? Is that something that you think about?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, especially because the point guard usually have the balls, or me or Jared, whoever's the point guard usually have the ball most of the game. So I mean, just giving those guys touches. I mean, so they can have the feel for the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we got the ball the whole game, so making sure they touch the ball and making sure they feel like they're in the offense with us, just not just the person who has the ball all the time, is very important, because it gives a lot of energy, especially when our big score. They get a lot of energy on defense. I mean, they're not thinking like, oh, I'm not touching the ball, because I mean, usually they touch the ball or something like that. So we try to keep everyone involved,
right,
to make them play harder on the defensive end.
And then my follow-up question is, I remember Jason Kidd used to emphasize this all the time, but making sure the ball gets in the shooting pocket, meaning above the waist and below the shoulders. I think you do an outstanding job of that, and just setting people up to where they're not having to reach down low or reach up high for passes, and just be ready to shoot. Is that something that you think about? Has that been emphasized by your coaches to make sure you're always trying to put it in the shooting pocket?
It's definitely been emphasized by our coaches. I mean, especially by Coach P. He's the guy that's on time, on target. He's been on me saying, like, yeah, you got to be able to make sure they catch the ball in their pocket and not reach for the ball. So I just try to work on that every day when I work out. I just try to make it so I get crisp passes and making sure it hits them in their pocket so they have to reach down. I just got to keep doing a good job at it. I honestly think I'm not doing a really great job at it. I'm doing an okay job, but I can work on it.
Yeah. Davion, obviously Jared Butler is creating a lot of buzz this year, as you are. The whole team is. But, I mean, these last 2 games specifically, he's really been good. Sometimes what would, if you had to guard Jared, like what let me rephrase that. What's so hard about guarding Jared? In other words, what does he do that gives him so much success on offense? What really impresses you about his offensive skill set?
I think really impressed me. He's confident. I mean, he can do everything on the floor. He can shoot the 3, get to the cup. He uses his body real well. I mean, I guard him every day in practice, so I know how it feels. Like, he uses his body real well. I mean, you can't really give him open looks, because if he hit one, he can hit another and another. So if you give him that open look, man, he's gonna be hard to stop. I mean, because when he gets that open look, it's like the goal is like a hula hoop to him. So
yeah. Jared, over time, Ashley and I have dealt with him, or most anyone that comes in contact with him just sees what a nice guy he is. But does he have like a trash talking, like arrogant side? Yeah, when you guys are in practice and he's hot, is he talking trash? He got a technical, I think, against K-State earlier this year, or Iowa State. I was kind of surprised. What, does he have that side of him?
Not really. I mean, he got a little bit in him. It's not really like a thing where, like, oh, you gotta watch Jared. Like, it's like, I don't know. Like, when he got that tech at Kansas State, I just feel like if there was like crowd, the ref wouldn't have heard it. You know what I'm saying? So like,
right.
A lot of things the ref hear, like, they're not really supposed to, because there's supposed to be a crowd or whatever. But during this COVID thing, so I just feel like he has it. I mean, but he's not really like a guy where you like, Jared, calm down. Like,
right.
He's just in the game, honestly.
Yeah, along that line, are there some guys on the team that are really emotional that you have to rein them in sometimes? I mean, is Mark Vital that way? Is Matt Meyer that way? I mean, who are the guys that tend to be the most emotional on the court?
I would say myself, honestly. I mean, especially when a ref call, I feel like it's a bad call, I would be like, yo, ref, like, but one of the guys on the team where everyone tell me to calm down, the play is over with. It's something I've been working on, though. I don't really get onto the ref like that. And Mark is kind of like the same way. We got to tell him to calm down a little bit. But, like, it's not really a thing where we got to do it every game. I mean, it's just some games, you know what I'm
saying? Right.
Davion, one thing that's really been cool to me to see in you is the stories I've heard recently about, a recruit commits and they say, oh, the first text I got congratulating me was from Davion Mitchell, and several of the recruits said that, and there just seems to be a lot of examples of you really taking, showing that you're taking pride and a little bit of ownership in this program. Can you just talk about that and kind of your role as one of the leaders of this program?
I just want to say, yeah. I mean, especially coming from guys like Auburn. I mean, those guys like Jared Harper, I learned a lot from him. So I mean, just watching him, being that leader on that team, I would say I learned a lot from him. So I just try to play my role like him. I mean, like, because I love Baylor, so people that come here, I want them to feel the same way. I want them to feel love. I mean, even though the coaches can't really be in contact with them, right, like as much as they can with us because just during the season. So I just want to make sure, like, they're involved with us too. I mean, even though they're not on the team, they're still involved. They still rep Baylor. I mean, we're doing it for them. We're doing it for, like, the people that's got to come in, all the high school seniors that coming in. We just trying to pay the role for them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Have you seen that side of your personality, though, continue to grow, becoming more and more of a leader, or were you always the guy that was kind of leading the charge all the way back to high school?
It's definitely grown because I didn't say much in my first year in college. I was like the quiet guy, just like stayed back. But coming here, just watching, one of the coaches asked me, like, you got to be a leader when you get here. And I just try to learn every day. I mean, me and Jared are learning to be leaders. We feed off each other. Yeah, I'm just keep like a learning thing.
Yeah. Last thing for me before Ashley finishes it off, because I know we're short on time, but anytime the team's undefeated, halfway through the season, whatever, then everyone's watching. When are they who's going to be the team that gets them, or when are they going to have their off night? I guess. What about this group gives you confidence that you guys will be able to just keep your focus on one game at a time and not let all the pressures of the outside world and being undefeated get to you?
I think one of the things that we do a really good job at is just being connected as a team. We love playing with each other. So I just feel like like I said, like, we're not going to be too big on the pressure just because, like, we know we got one thing to do. Like, we're trying to do one thing. We try to take one game at a time. Everyone knows that we're supposed to go 1-0 every day and practice film. So I just feel like this team is, like, locked in. Yeah, I just feel like this team is locked in.
Yeah, thanks.
Davey, I want to ask you just a few questions outside of basketball. One is, what are you studying at Baylor, and how close are you to graduating?
I'm really close to graduating. I'm studying health kinesiology and leisure studies. Okay. Yeah, I'm really close to graduating.
Awesome. And do you have a favorite subject? Do you have a least favorite subject? Maybe this semester, just in general.
My least favorite subject is probably English because I don't like writing. Yeah. But my favorite subject is math, though. I'm a really numbers guy. I like numbers, and math is, like, really interesting in me.
Awesome. And then my final question is, I think Jared mentioned when we interviewed him that you have a girlfriend, serious girlfriend off the court. What's life like for you in this COVID year? I mean, are you able to spend time with her, during the week? I mean, are you really just, keeping your circle very narrow as to who you actually interact with because of COVID regulations?
No, I was always that type of guy. Like, I mean, I had my girlfriend for 5 years now. Yeah. So I wasn't really like a guy that go out, like, I spend time with her, or I played a video game, or I'm at the gym. There's nothing really else, nothing really I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just spend time with her, and I got 2 dogs. So I spend time with them, and we just spend time with each other.
What kind of dogs do you have, Davion?
One mixed with a Pit and a Lab mix, and one is a Great Pyrenees.
Right. And if you got a free night in Waco and you're going to go to dinner or somewhere nice, do you have any spots that you've kind of come to like over the years?
Definitely Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
I actually went recently. It was really good. But that's definitely a spot where I'm definitely going every night.
It's a good spot. Okay. Well, Davion, I think we're about out of time. I know you got to get to practice, and we can't thank you enough for giving us a few minutes. You've been exciting to watch this year and last year, and I know great things are ahead. So we'll definitely catch up with you down the line. But for Ashley Hodds, I'm Jason King for the Sic'Em 365 podcast for the Field of 68 Network.